What's cooking, good looking? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. That actually kind of hurt low-key, probably have a concussion. I saw stars after that, so that's why I didn't look at the camera immediately. I was like, where is the camera? If this is your first time here, welcome. If you have been here before and you've seen some of my other videos, welcome back. Today's video is gonna be like a little bit of a darker topic just because it's what my tattoo means. I got this tattoo when I was 16. In Florida, it is legal to tattoo a minor over the age of 16 with parental consent, so my tattoo is actually my birthday present. So there's a lot of regulations that have to do with the tattoo, like it can't be on your forearms and just like a bunch of other kind of stuff like that, like there's just certain rules with it. So I had my tattoo done on my calf. So this is my tattoo right here. As you can see, it's a bow and arrow. A lot of people are just like, why would you get a bow and arrow tattoo? It actually does have meaning to me. I was actually 15 when I drew this tattoo. I drew it myself. There were some final touches that obviously the tattoo artist did because my drawing wasn't gonna be perfect because I am not good at drawing. The reason it's designed the way it is, if you guys know what the semicolon project is, it has 4 semicolons in it. I will circle those in this picture maybe, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. So you can see the semicolons there. If you don't know what the semicolon project is, basically it's a semicolon is used when an author could have ended a sentence but didn't and chose to continue that sentence on instead of just ending it with a period. So that's when a semicolon is used. That's the meaning behind it. Basically what that relates to when it comes to a tattoo is that suicide and stuff like that, when you either attempt suicide or thought about it, and you choose to continue on, or even if it wasn't your choice and it was a failed attempt, that your story isn't over yet, basically. You are the author of your life. You get to decide what happens in the next chapter. You can't change the past ones. That's a part of your story, but you can choose to continue on and just continue that story how you want it. Basically is the meaning behind the semicolons. The reason there's a feather in the tattoo is because it represents bravery, so I wanted that to be a part of it as well. The reason it's a bow and arrow is because bow and arrows were used for warriors, so it represents a warrior. And the thing with bow and arrows is that in order to be launched forward, in order for it to move forward, it has to be pulled backwards first. So in the tattoo, it's in the pulled back position, meaning there's something good about to happen, or you're about to move forward, or there's about to be a breakthrough. So that's why I wanted it in the pulled back position. Was because of that. Meaning even in your darkest times, there's about to be, there's always going to be a breakthrough. Even in your darkest times, it doesn't matter, there's going to be a breakthrough. It's coming, just wait for it. It's going to be worth it. So I wanted that as a reminder. Now the reason I got it on my calf is because, as you can probably see in this picture, I'm going to insert it again because if you missed it, as you can probably see in this picture, there are a lot of cutting scars there. I used self-harm, and there's a bunch of other stuff that I'm going to get into later on in this video. But that's why I wanted it there, so that it would kind of go over the scars and keep me from ever doing that again. Because every time I look there, it's this beautiful piece of art that I got to make and is now on my body. I know my mom especially has gotten, not hate because of it, but has gotten like some weary looks, I guess, on why she would let me get the tattoo. The thing is, I hate to use this because it's kind of like a stupid way of describing it. In the end, it is my body. I wanted it there, and I'm going to want it there, and I know that, and she knew that. And she knew that it had a lot of meaning to me, and that there's never gonna be a day in my life where I don't think back about either that stuff or anything like that. Like, I want my tattoos, I plan to get more. I want my tattoos to always tell a story or have some meaning behind it. The thing is it's never not gonna have meaning to me. It's always gonna be a reminder of what I've been through before and that I'm able to overcome what's ever gonna be in my life at that point. So there was no, it's not like I'm getting an infinity tattoo, no offense to anybody that has an infinity tattoo, but you're kind of dumb. I didn't want a tattoo that anybody else had, excluding the semicolons, because there was meaning behind that. Had it been any other tattoo, she probably wouldn't have let me get it until I was 18, but because of the meaning behind it and everything, that's why she let me get it. So this is also kind of, not a promo video, but this is kind of a intro into what I'm going to be doing with my channel. So what I plan to do is I'm gonna start doing videos called My Story. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have different guests kind of on my channel. What they're gonna do basically is tell their story. And honestly, if I'm gonna be real with you guys, I don't care about the fame, I don't care about the clout, I don't care about the money, I don't care about any of that. What I care about is helping people. The reason I want a platform is that way I can help people, and honestly I thought about it now and I was like, well, I mean, I could put it on my platform now. So here's where we get deep. Should I scoot in for this one? All right. Also, to those of you who watched my last video, this is a different time. If you haven't seen my last video, I explained why I was in the gym. It is currently midnight and the people I'm staying with are sleeping, so I'm in the gym because I don't want to wake them up. If you don't know what I mean by the people I'm staying with, go watch my video Homeless in Arizona. That'll explain all that. Self-promo, I'm sorry. So this is where the story kind of takes a darker turn. I'm going to be going through what my life has been when it comes to why I got this tattoo. Future on my channel very, very soon, within a week or two, I'm probably gonna start doing videos where I bring a guest on my channel and they're gonna go through their story too. But I thought, why not start with mine, and we'll see where that goes. The reason I'm doing this is not to make people feel sorry for me, because honestly, I'm in a better place now, and looking back, I'm glad I went through it, because what this does is it gives me an opportunity to help other people, which is what I want to do. If somebody watching this video is going through some of the things that I've been through before, I can use my experience in order to speak to that person, and honestly, I think that's pretty cool, and I think there's no reason not to do that. There's really not, because if I can help people at the same time as making videos that I want to make and talking about subjects that I want to talk about, it's kind of a no-brainer. So around the age of 11, we moved houses, and the one that we had lived in before we moved was awesome. We had this huge pool, we had all sorts of fun stuff to do. We had like a water slide going into the pool, we had a trampoline, all this really fun stuff for kids, and of course I was 11, so I loved that. This was the only house that I'd ever known, and I loved that house. It's what I grew up in. It's literally all I knew. The thought of moving back then was detrimental to me. Now, I'm happy to move wherever. I just literally flew across the country to Arizona for pretty much no reason, to live here. Anyway, some stuff had happened, so we were moving, and we moved into a new house, and obviously it wasn't the same. And pretty much my only friend at that time lived down the street from me, so it was like, you know, we'd go out and just hang out, whatever. For those that don't know, I was homeschooled, which meant I didn't have that many friends. I didn't have the advantage of going to school every day and kind of seeing the same-ish people around and stuff like that. I didn't have that. So I kind of mostly just stayed to myself. There were some homeschool meetings and park meetings and all sorts of like things that you could go to. I chose not really to go to those. I didn't really enjoy that type of setting. I pretty much just stayed at home. It got to the point where I would be home for days at a time, that just not doing anything. Like I didn't have a job because at the time, obviously, I was only 11 or 12. We would go still do fun things. There was like always, my mom would always make sure that, you know, we always did something, or just whatever we wanted to do. She would drive us to wherever. But the thing is, doing stuff like, I don't know, doing stuff like going to the movies and, you know, all that stuff, that's not really fun by yourself or with your family when you're 11. That's fun with your friends when you're 11. So, unfortunately, I didn't really have a group of friends like that. There was times where I literally had nobody, and that went on for quite a few years. That was probably about a year or two. And honestly, it continued longer after that, but I had a couple of people to surround myself with after that. So getting up to around 12 years old, that's when I really started like getting the hint of, I guess, depression, you would call it. I just noticed that I wasn't as happy. I was just kind of sad all the time, or I just felt like I was there, like there wasn't any point to me being there. Right around this time, that's probably when I started doing worse in school, just because I literally just stopped caring about everything. Unfortunately, when when you do that and you stop caring about school and you stop trying at it, your grades go down. And that's what happened, was I wasn't putting in the work, so I wasn't getting the results. And of course, that's just sent me farther into depression, unfortunately. After a few months of this, I mean, in my brain, I basically just told myself as like, I can't take this anymore. I don't want to be alive. There's no reason for me to live. There's nobody for me to hang out with. There's no point to being here. And that was literally my outlook on life, which is really sad. Like, to think about that now, it's like, dang, like, that's not true at all. Like, there's so many things to look forward to, and there's so many different areas to explore, and just like things to do in life. But in my 12-year-old brain, I thought I knew everything, and I thought I knew what was best for me, which was not true. Always listen to your parents, children. So right around this time, I started getting suicidal thoughts and just not doing good mentally. Probably after maybe a month of that, I kind of broke down, and it was at that point where I was probably in one of my darkest times, and that's just because I had never experienced it before. The thing is when you're 12, you grew up in a homeschooled family, you don't really get the type of exposure that other kids get. So I didn't even really understand depression. That was one of the problems, was I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want to talk to my parents about it because I was embarrassed, and I didn't know what it was, and I thought they were going to be not mad at me for it, but like disappointed in me, I guess. This entire time, of course, I was acting like I was fine because I didn't want them to find out that I had depression. Like, looking back now, I'm like, I'm actually retarded. So after that month kind of went by, I just broke down. Like, I didn't want to do it anymore. I literally just wanted to die. Like, that was my outlook on life, was, could one of these cars hit me? That's basically my outlook on life. I didn't want to be alive anymore. So the first time that I was gonna commit suicide was, I was gonna suffocate myself with a plastic bag. I was just gonna stick it over my head and then put some rubber bands, or I don't know what I was gonna do. I had probably a string tied around my neck. Now, I remember just thinking to myself, I was like, this is the best option. It's just gonna all go black and you're not gonna feel anything. You're just gonna go off to sleep. Right as I was placing the bag over my head, my mom pulled in the driveway and I saw her car out my window. And of course, you know, I hid everything that I had because I didn't have enough time and whatever. I had a note written out, I had all that stuff. I was prepared to die. I wasn't going into this thinking, oh, maybe I'll survive, maybe I won't. No, I was dead set on this. So of course my mom walked in, I hid everything, acted like it never happened, anything like that. But looking back, I can't help but think there wasn't, or there's not going to be a purpose for me, or there's not a purpose for me. Because if she had caught one more red light, if she had stopped to talk to somebody for 3 more minutes, 2 more minutes, another minute, who knows, I could have died, and I probably would have died. So the fact that she showed up right then shows me that I do have a purpose and everything happens for a reason. But in my 12-year-old brain, that's not what I thought. I thought, oh, this sucks. I'm not really gonna go into the other times in detail like I did that one. It was just for the sake of that story that everybody does have a purpose. It doesn't matter who you are, you do have a purpose and you matter in this world. Also throughout that, I was struggling with anxiety. It got to the point where I couldn't leave the house, or I just had to be around my mom. And it got to like so bad that like I could not leave the house. Like, I would have chest pains so bad. I would have the worst anxiety attacks. I couldn't talk to people, so the thought of making friends literally scared me. I wouldn't walk up to people, I couldn't talk to people, I couldn't look people in the eye. And thankfully, I got a job at a Chick-fil-A, which, as much as I hated working there, it did help me a lot because that put friends in my life, my coworkers, and they thought I was funny. So that put some friends in my life. And then also, being at a job, you know, most of your time, even though I was only 14 or 15, all the way up until, well, a few months ago, I was working almost 40 hours a week or more every week. So it was like I would be around them for most of my time. That would get me out of the house. I had to talk to the customers there, so that kind of helped my anxiety come down a little bit. When I first started working there, I'd have panic attacks at work about like talking to people, and I'd get really overwhelmed during lunch. But slowly and slowly it got better because I was working on it. And it got to the point where now I'm fine. I can walk up to any random person on the street and I can say hello and I can do whatever and it's fine. It doesn't matter to me now. So I am really grateful for that. If you're struggling with anxiety, you have to get out of your comfort zone, because the only way, it's like a muscle. It literally is. The only way you're gonna get better is by working that muscle, and it's gonna burn. It's not gonna feel good when you're working it. You're gonna be having anxiety the entire time, just like your bicep is gonna hurt if you're doing bicep curls, because that's what you're working on. But the thing is, you have to step out of your comfort zone, because then your comfort zone moves up every step you take. Now, my depression, it doesn't necessarily ever go away. The thing is you learn how to deal with it, and you get to the point where you literally just mentally tell yourself, they're like, you know, this isn't me. This isn't my words. It's not me telling myself this. When I start to feel sad, it's like, I can deal with it now, to the point where it's just like, yeah, okay, you know, we're not gonna mess with that. You kind of are able to block it out almost. The thing is it's easy to get into, hard to get out of, just like nearly anything else. It's almost like depression is addictive in a way. There's always ups and downs. Even a heartbeat. If you look at a heartbeat monitor, it goes up and then it goes down and then it goes up and then it goes down and then it's like kind of flat for a second, then it goes up, down. The thing is, your life wouldn't be fun if there weren't ups and downs, because when all you feel are the highs of life, if everything in your life was perfect, like to a T, you wouldn't appreciate those moments, because that would become your normal. That would become what you're used to. And then it's just a flat line, and that's no fun. There's no fun in that, because that's what you're used to, and that's what you're telling your brain is the normal now. That's why life has ups and downs. It's because it's necessary for you to live, just like your heartbeat. Also, life advice really quick. Emo phases, you're gonna regret it. I guarantee you, 100%. Don't do it, it's not worth it. Dress in bright, colorful clothes. There's also a large part of my many years of experience where I was self-harming. The problem with self-harm is it's basically addictive. The reason I would do it is because every time I would cut, I would feel kind of a relief of like, not depression, but it's kind of like a euphoric feeling almost, like it just got better for a little while. And then a few hours later, I was right back at rock bottom. When you feel nothing for so long, the thought of feeling something is so appeasing. If you felt nothing, if you saw nothing, if you heard absolutely nothing, if you could smell nothing, taste nothing, touch nothing at all, you would choose pain over just feeling nothing, because it's still feeling something. It gives you a sense that you're here. It gives you a sense that this is real. Not a good road to go down. I don't recommend that road at all. I think there's also a factor for a lot of people. The thing is, this is something that I've learned, is a broken hammer can't fix a broken house. So the thing is if you surround yourself with depressed people, it's toxic to you, because they will start to kind of influence you, or it'll become a competition almost of, oh, I cut today, oh, I cut twice today, oh, I attempted suicide last week. Like, it kind of turns into a competition, and you try to outdo each other, even if it's subconscious. You don't know it. It's like, oh, I have to one-up this person. There's like a sense of like, I don't know, competition in the fact of that. So a broken hammer can't fix a broken house. If you only surround yourself with people who are depressed, who are in their low state, and that's the only person you hang out with, that's the person you're gonna become. You are the 5 people you hang around with the most. So if 4 out of those 5 people are extremely depressed, you're gonna become depressed. But if you surround yourself with people who maybe have been there before, who have more experience, who are maybe a little bit older than you, it's not gonna be like that. So that's who you should choose to surround yourself with. I'm not saying you shouldn't hang out with those people, but the 5 closest friends you have, for your mental state, if you're in that place, that's who you need to be hanging around with. So in the future on my channel, I'm gonna have other people kind of telling their story, almost like I did, a little bit differently, because this video was more about my tattoo and kind of, you know, that fun stuff. Because this story was about more of my tattoo and stuff like that, but I wanted to throw this in here because I want my channel to be a place where I can actually help people, and that's the main goal of this. You know, I could make stupid videos all day, I could, you know, vlog every day and do whatever. But the thing is I want the vlogs, or I want the videos, to to have a purpose and not just be for, you know, entertainment purposes or to make fun of people. Or this video is probably going to be way longer than expected. It's probably going to be like 20 minutes. I'm sorry, I talked for a long time, but I really hope this could help somebody, anybody out. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I really hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.